What's the upside, adult fans of Lego? Solbrick is in the house. And I just had my morning coffee in my Fallout 4 mug. Because I am a big Fallout fan, but I'm also a big Star Wars fan. And today we're going to have a look at set 75254 ATST Raider from the Mandalorian TV show or streaming show. The box is super big, so I have to put it like this. And as you can see, it has the ATSD, which is this building, and then we have the Mandalorian, Cara Dune, Klatooinian Raider, and Klatooinian Raider. Klatooinian Raider and Klatooinian Raider. And I'm going to speed build this set, and while I do that, I'm going to talk about episode 4 of The Mandalorian, which I just have seen. So beware of spoilers. So this was a bit of a slow episode called Sanctuary. The first 3 episodes were great, they were epic. The first episode was great, the second was better, and the third was even better and was super exciting. And after that climax in the third episode, I guess we need to have a slower and calmer episode where we get to breathe a little bit. And it starts out with this native Canadian American people living on a planet that looks like Canada are attacked by Uruk-hais, or Klatonians as they are called in Star Wars. But they totally look like Uruk-hais from the Lord of the Rings movies, I think. I like the blue shrimp krill that they're working with. I have a bit of a problem with the villagers that they all dress the same. It feels like Jon Favreau could have done something more with this in the script, that they had some weird cult or something, a weird religion where they're worshipping the shrimp. You know, like the movie Midsummer. There's something like crazy going on in this little perfect nature-loving community. Anyhow, of course, the Mandalorian arrives at this planet, and he's hungry and visiting the restaurant in the local town. And at this restaurant or inn, Cara Dune from the Lego set that we've been waiting for so long, watching them, and he gets suspicious because she looks like a total badass, strong woman from a James Cameron movie, but with not as much charisma as they have. So he goes out and leaves Baby Yoda with the inn owner or the lady that's working there, which is kind of strange because, you know, Baby Yoda still has that big, large bounty, and he just killed a lot of bounty hunters protecting the baby. For some reason, he's really trusting in people right now. He walks out and he gets hit by Cara Dune, and they have a fight, and then they become friends for some reason. But they decide that they can't be on the planet at the same time, so the Mandalorian needs to leave, and he's working on the ship when the villagers come by and try to convince him to help them against the raiders, which he first declines. But when he finds out that the villagers have a village, which they said, I think, he decides that that's a good place to hide out since it's getting attacked by raiders, which seems like a bit of a bad place to take Baby Yoda, a big risk. Maybe he just wants to be a good guy and help them out. And he recruits Cara Dune to help them out for scrap money, or lunch money as they say. They fall asleep because they're super trusting, and they arrive at the freaky village with everyone dressed the same. Then this mother in the show totally gets the hots for the Mandalorian. I guess she has some kind of a kink for armor. So she pretty much immediately tries to get down with the Mandalorian and get some of that Mandalorian steel love. Yes, she's tired of all the men in her village that she probably grew up with, and she never sees anyone else. They don't have Tinder on this planet. Cara Dune and the Mandalorian discovers that there's an ATST lurking around, and they get a bit pissed off by this fact that the villagers didn't tell them, and they decide to train the villagers with sticks and some of the Mandalorian's weapons. Now, of course, the Ewoks, they managed to defeat the Imperial stormtroopers with just sticks, arrows, and large lumber pieces. So it's possible for these villagers to do the same, I guess. Cara and the Mandalorian attacks the Raider settlements, but decides not to take all of them out, even though the Mandalorian has more thermal detonators. You can just blow them up, I guess. And they run back to the village because I guess they wanted to control when the raiders should attack the village, so they could hide in the dark. And the AT-ST with the red eyes, which I really like. Lego should totally have had a light brick inside of the set, but maybe they didn't know that this AT-ST would have red eyes at the moment when they were designing the set. Anyways, the village is attacked, and the fight just goes on, and they win the fight. There's not real much to say about this, and they blow up the AT-ST, which is a bit sad. A couple of weeks goes by, and Kyra is like, you should stay here and raise your future kids with this woman that totally has the hots for you. But he's like, nah, and the lady really wants to take off his helmet still, which I think is a bit disrespectful against his religion. I mean, come on. She knows the Mandalorians don't want to take off the helmets. Stop harassing him about it. I wouldn't like her more if someone is like really nagging about it. The Mandalorians have still forgotten that Baby Yoda has a big bounty on him, so he wants to leave Baby Yoda here. But he at the same time says something that is too dangerous for himself to be there, because word traveled fast after the attack that people are going to know about what has been going on here, and that will bring a lot of bad stuff to the village. So that's a bit weird. Fortunately, bounty hunter is lurking in the woods that Cara Dune takes out. The Mandalorian suddenly remembers that there is a bounty on the Baby Yoda, and he needs to take Baby Yoda with him. And Baby Yoda looks back at the villagers as they drive off towards their ship, and he looks a bit sad over it, because of course this was probably the first time in many years that he had friends and other children. So that's a bit sad for him, but hopefully the Mandalorian can find a better sanctuary for this little kid, because we all want this kid to be protected and safe. I think he should go to the New Republic if possible. What's my score for this episode? Well, out of 10 bricks, I will give it 4 or 5. It didn't feel like Star Wars, it felt more like Stargate. I had a problem with the first episode also, with the blue alien guy in the beginning. Felt a bit like a Star Trek character. And I think they're making the scripts a bit too simple right now. They should tweak these tropes that they're working with a bit more. This felt very standard, and it was really predictable. You can use slower episodes in TV series or in comics that I work with to establish a bit more about characters. Cara Dune, we don't really get to know much about her. She's really a flat character in this episode, and not exciting at all. She's just this typical run-of-the-mill badass female warrior woman that we see a lot of. I think they could have done much more with her. And the Mandalorian, the only new thing we found out about him was basically that he does take off his helmet when he's in private, so he can probably wash his hair and eat crackers. So guys, let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode. I think this will, split the community around Star Wars. It was bound to happen that a slower or bad episode would come around. I hope that they can get back in shape for the coming episodes, because this was really slow. Phew. Alright, adult fans of Lego, let's have a look at the finished results. Oh my goodness, that looks super modern. I really like these new kind of design features that Lego is making these days, where you have these hinges for the legs, so you can really align them however you want and pose it in different ways. And the play feature where you can walk like this because these are also called chicken walkers. And I'm super nostalgic about this, because when I was a kid, one of my friends of course had a Kenner version of the AT-ST that was super impressive. Maybe it was this tall or something. I guess we all had some of these Kenner figures. I had just a couple because I was a bit too young. I think I had some of the ones from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, like the Ewoks and C-3PO, and some random figs, a snowtrooper and some fig that's not even in the movie. But Kenner was of course making a lot of money on Star Wars, so they were making up a lot of sets and figures themselves. So this is of course not the set I was building. This is a mock that I made, or a mod of the set 7127 Imperial AT-ST, which was the first AT-ST that LEGO did back in 2001. And I think I own 3 of them. So I decided to mod one of them. I really like the cable going down like this. That's also in the original set that we're soon going to have a look at, but right now we're going to have a look at this classic set. And what I like about it is that you can open up like this, and there's not really much going on there, except you have a really nice screen of on an AT-ST being targeted right there. And the hatch is of course the classic hinge, which they got rid of just a couple of years later. But of course my favorite play features of all times is opening hinges like that. So I'm super happy about that. And you have these blasters on the side. I hope you like this version, but let's compare it to the new one by LEGO. It's a bit more impressive, I would say. And it reminds me a bit more of the Kenner version, because the Kenner version, they had other possibilities to just mold the plastic in any shape they wanted, whereas LEGO tried to keep it more classic, at least in the beginning. Now they're making, of course, more and more specialized parts. So we can see the similarities. Here we have the brown fixed leg, and here is the red painted one. So it's a bit scruffy looking. I like the eyebrows here. You can like close them up like so if you want to have some shut eye, maybe have a nap in there. You've been shooting people all day, need to rest. And you can open the hatch here also, which is a nice play feature. It sits on these technical pins. It's not at all flimsy or anything. It really has a little bit of that resistance in it, which we all like, the quality of Lego that the fake Lego companies aren't able to make. So I really like it, and I guess you could pose it a little bit, but not a lot. You can't make this, you can't make it walk around like this chicken walker. So that's a bit of a bummer, but you can swivel the head around like so and shoot Ewoks. Pew, 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 pew. So that's cool. Oh, that was a bit tricky too. So, and the back side, not really much going on. Oh, you can rotate this like this. I guess I knew that from watching Yangbreck's video of this, but I've totally forgot it. So that's a pretty nice play feature. Woo, 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 pew, 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 pew. Maybe this is the chicken walker. This one it has in sights. Hello, I'm gonna break you up. Whoa! Oh, maybe some Ewoks defeated it, because they're super badass. Let's have a look at the minifigures. We start off with the Klatooinian Raider. Yeah, this is like the foot soldiers from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You just see a lot of these Klatooinian Raiders in the show, and they're pretty disposable figures. They don't even have real names, just named by their species and I guess what they work with, which is raiding. So I would be a Swedish editor if I was a generic Lego figure. And here's the other Klatooinian Raider. He has a helmet on. They're pretty much the same looking. A bit of different torso, the legs are the same. Guess they're twins. Their faces looks the same. So let's put them over here. And then you have Cara Dune. And I really like the name Cara Dune. It sounds a bit like Mara Jade, which of course is Luke Skywalker's wife, if you believe in the old universe that was before Disney changed everything. She has an alternative face and a printing on the back, where she just looks upset about something. Maybe she waited too long at Burger King for her chicken nuggets and has low blood sugar. Alright, and last but not least, we have of course the Mandalorian himself. Mando. I just love Mando. Sorry, move along, this is my show. So Mandalorian is of course the star of the show, and he's wearing his Beskar armor helmet, which is traditional to Mandalorians. And I guess Lego didn't really know or have that much information from Lucasfilm when they made this fig, because he doesn't have his full Beskar steel armor that he got in episode 3. He's just sporting some makeshift version that's not as durable, because real Beskar steel can of course withhold attacks from lightsabers and blasters. I think the gun looks a bit weird. I think we should have Cara Dune's version instead, because it's more like a rifle than a long gun. I think this looks more correct, even a bit too long still. It's like a middle thing between a staff and a rifle that he can vaporize people with. And that's of course a little throwback to the holiday special that I hope you've seen, where Boba Fett has a similar weapon. And speaking of the holiday special, I know some of you have been celebrating Thanksgiving, and we soon will have Life Day, the big Star Wars holiday. That's their form of Christmas, and I'm thinking of working on some sort of a holiday layout in my Lego town that you can look forward to, with Christmas trees and snowmen and that kind of good stuff. Unfortunately, there is no Baby Yoda minifig just yet. I hope Lego will produce one. They have the mold for the baby body, so they can hopefully make a little baby head for him, because he's of course super cute. And in the meantime, I guess Mandalorian can have me as his little Baby Yoda, the baby Solbrick. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, move along. These are not the droids you're looking for. And as always, you know the drill. Stay out of the nonsense and stay awesome. And please subscribe.